Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another Binding of Isaac news video. Today, very exciting, the newest patch for the Binding of Isaac Repentance has come out. This is update version 1.7.5, considered the major update, the big patch that we've been waiting for like 6 months, right? It's a huge one. The fact that they're calling it localizations and more is a bit of a joke because the more is a little big, right? It's a little big. There's actually a ton of stuff going on in this patch. We're going to go over all of the main gameplay things. I'm probably not going to cover all of the fixes in here. There are a lot of bug fixes, but I want to cover all of at least the new content and some of the balance tweaks. As always, I'm relatively pro-nerf when it comes to Repentance. There were some things that I disagreed with in the original patch, but I firmly believe that Repentance is the best version of Isaac that has ever released. And most of the changes in the initial, update, I was very pleased with. There are a couple of controversial ones in this one. All I ask is, try to stay calm in the comment section. Nerfs are okay. There's a ton of buffs and other gameplay changes in here that kind of counteract a lot of these nerfs, and we'll talk about it. So, without further ado, let's get going. One of the biggest changes in this patch are the localization options. The game now has partial support for Japanese, Korean, Spanish, German, Russian, and simplified Chinese. This is always great, right? This is always great. Any opportunity you have to bring a greater player base in by having more languages supported in the game is a really, really good thing. This is fantastic, and I'm hoping to see some more languages in the future and get these more fleshed out to just make sure that Isaac's fan base is fully supported. Let's talk additions. There are 3 new items to the boss and chest pools. Important to keep in mind, the boss and chest pool are very, very similar now. Most boss items are in the chest pool, but the important thing here is that these 3 new items are actually all damage ups. And that's a huge addition to the chest pool because you're going to have a lot less damage RNG on your run because these 3 items are going to be much more common. So let's take a look at them. I do have Isaac loaded up, and we're going to spawn these in. Also, like, just send me to freaking stage 1, man. Oh, we still got Curse of Darkness. Just restart me. Thank the freaking Lord. Okay, so let's spawn these in. So 7:30. you son of a gun. Let's try that again. Here is Glass Eye. Fun little sprite. I like it. Another eye item in the game. This is a damage and luck up, and you can see the stats there. Cool little eye that he gains as well. I like it a lot. Okay, let's spawn the next one. This is going to be Stye, an absolutely disgusting looking item. This is a damage and range up, but this works similarly to how Blood Clot works, but in your right eye. And I'm actually going to remove Glass Eye here since it's also on the right eye. You can see that Isaac has the Stye now. This is a damage up, but it's only in the right eye, and then you can see that the right eye has a higher range as well. So very similar to Blood Clot, Chemical Peel, anything that only affects one eye. I think this is an interesting item, interesting change, and a good item nonetheless. I don't know the exact damage values of it, but it looks pretty sizable for sure. And then finally we have our final new item here. Well, pseudo final new item. This is Mom's Ring, the counterpart to Dad's Ring. This is a damage up, and then it also drops a rune equivalent. You can think of it as the gem in the ring. In this case, we got one of the souls, which technically count as runes in the game. So we got Soul of Samson. But if we pop this again, you're going to see that we get ourselves a rune. If we pop it again, you're going to see that we get a rune, also the mom transformation, but that's beside the point. The item is a part of the mom transformation. But yeah, you can get a rune or some souls out of this, which I think is, dude, it's another like halfway decent item. A damage up in the boss pool, in my opinion, is always going to be a acceptable item in the game. we're going to hop back in game momentarily because big news, C-section is now functionable? That's a new one. Functional and obtainable after you unlock it. Many people know this item was completely broken in the game and was not able to be gotten. It was not finished. It is now finished, and the tag on it is that you get fetus tears right here. So we're gonna take this bad boy. We have Fetus Shots, and this is a charged shot that you then dump out these little fetuses, and then they, you know, kind of go to town. So you can see if we send them in, they start homing in towards the enemies. They can hit multiple people. This is a funky tier effect, man. What a fun and unique little item. I actually really like it a lot. Feels very, like, actually modded in nature. This is the kind of thing that I normally expect from mods. But I like it a lot. I think that, you know, even though the wait happened a little bit longer than we would have expected to have C-section, this is a pretty enjoyable and fun item. Keep in mind that we also have, you know, 4 damage ups on this run right now, so it does look strong, but I think it's going to be pretty strong anyway. You know, it's a relatively hard unlock. Interesting, fun item. I like it a lot. Let's talk about some new tainted character type items. Bag of Crafting, Flip, and Sumptorium can now be found by all characters after being unlocked. This was also kind of a bug in the game, or I guess a decision. You could not get any of these 3 items with other characters, even though they had an unlock. New birthright effect to all characters that were missing one. There were a good chunk that were missing. I'm not going to spoil what all of the new birthright effects are. Maybe I'll cover them in another video and just go over all of them, but they're all there now. Description to every tainted character that was missing one. New level transition / versus screen for Tainted Eden. That's kind of cool. Mini map icons for Tainted Blue Baby's poop pickups. Unique starting room graphics for every character. This is actually a really good change because some of the characters have pretty, you know, unintuitive starting rooms, and you don't really know what the character is about. So this is nice. And then another 200 new room layouts, man, which in case you were getting tired of the like 16,000 rooms that are already in the game, another 200. So a couple of visual changes. The Lost's health is now visible in the in your HUD, which means that you can see whether or not your holy mantle has been taken in the room, right? This is sometimes a hard thing to see if there's a room with a lot of enemies, so you can now see your holy mantle. This remains true for other characters as well. You'll be able to see your holy mantle. Updated sprites for Tainted Lazarus, updated sprites for The Thing, Null, Begotten, Evil Twin, Clot, Blue Boil, and Dookie, updated sprite for Converter. Fixed the Visage's attacks to use a consistent red color scheme. Unique item costumes to Tainted Lilith's fetus. This is actually an interesting one. I can't wait to see some of those. Tweak the color of the womb to be easier on the eyes. Thank you. Updated graphics for Blue Baby's Only Friend and Big Fan to be more consistent with Boomflies and other variants. And then Tech plus Brimstone lasers now have a large and giant variant similar to Brimstone lasers. This is one that I actually wanted to look at. So let's do this. Give Brimstone, give technology. And you're gonna see this looks like a so. And then if we add another Brimstone to this, it looks pretty sick. It looks pretty sick. Okay. Cool. Very cool. They look neat. So now we move into the gameplay changes. Look, there's a lot to unpack here. So let's kind of get going with it, right? Let's get going. Tainted Azazel's beam now has a reduced duration unless he holds Brimstone. He now sneezes automatically when charging instead of when releasing a partial charge. These are big changes to Tainted Azazel. Hitting enemies with the sneeze cuts the remaining charge time in half, and hitting enemies with his sneeze inflicts them with a Brimstone curse, which makes them more vulnerable to Brimstone attacks and causes them to explode when killed by Brimstone. This is a completely different character. Like they really made Tainted Azazel a lot different. We're gonna have to do a run as him and check it out sometime soon. Let's talk Tainted Eve. Tainted Eve's clots are no longer lost when recalled by Sumptorium if she has full health. Instead, they will drop to the ground next to her. This always felt like a bug to me, so I'm happy to see that was a bug and not just a gameplay decision. Tainted Eve's clots now start with 15 HP when spawned and slowly decay down to 1 HP. 5 HP for non-red hearts. So it's both a buff and a nerf for Tainted Eve, but I think that this is a good change. Tainted Lazarus. This is obviously a huge change. Everybody knows that Tainted Lazarus was unplayable in Repentance and was basically just a complete garbage character. This makes him not only more fun, but also fair, right? So I probably should have worded that a different way. It's not only more fair, but it's also really fun. So when playing as Tainted Lazarus, all items that spawn as a part of a room layout now have an alternate form that can be accessed using flip, even after they've been picked up. So this is one that I actually wanted to show off. So let's hop into a run as Tainted Lazarus here. And we're going to use flip in our item room. Come on, just give me an item in here. Give me an item in here. Okay, coward. Let's go to our shop real quick. It's a very, very odd room. This is a very odd room. Let's go to our treasure room instead. You have to actually fully type it out in here. Okay, so we've got, you can see, right, what is behind it on the flip dimension. So we have remote detonator, but we also obviously have cracked orb. So we can go yoink and take cracked orb. Then we can pop flip, and then the other Lazarus form can grab another item in the item room. So instead of having half items for all these characters, you basically can get extra items equivalent to your flip charges. It's a really, really fun and new good change that adds a lot more strategy to the character. It's just good. It's just good. Okay, Tainted Eden. I basically said that you have to do these changes, and then they went and did them. So I'm gonna claim all credit for it. Just kidding. A lot of people said these. Tainted Eden no longer rerolls on self-inflicted damage, such as donation machines, curse rooms. This is obviously like massive. It's massive, massive, massive. Was borderline unplayable, and he also no longer rerolls on fatal damage. This stops the issues where you would just get hit and die kind of thing, which was very annoying. I'm happy to see that change. Tainted Cane, everybody's favorite Minecraft RPG. Tainted Cane's crafting recipes are now slightly more consistent. High quality pickups are more likely to yield high quality items. You can also use golden pennies, golden pills, golden batteries, and poop pickups. But most of these crafting recipes are now generated based on the seed of the current run, aside from a few fixed recipes. It's no longer a wiki hunt, it's just random items, which makes the character so much more fun. I really, really like Tainted Cane. I found it to be a fun character, but everybody was just like, use the wiki and get Godhead Floor 1. And it's not fun. It's not fun to just wiki search the entire time that you play. So the randomly generated crafting recipes is so much more enjoyable, and I can't wait to do a new run as Tainted Cane. Tainted Forgotten is now thrown by releasing the attack buttons if picked up while charging an attack. Bag of Crafting yields a random item instead of breakfast when it would be an item that hasn't been unlocked yet. That's a huge change for people that don't have a full save file, right? Bag of Crafting can now purchase pickups on sale in a shop. That's interesting too, to be honest with you. Tainted Lilith's Fetus now automatically aims at nearby enemies. That's a massive change. Tainted Lilith was already strong. Tainted Jacob. Okay, here we go. These are some of the biggest changes in the game. Tainted Jacob can now pick up health when in the ghost form, but this does not prevent him from dying. So when you have soul hearts on the ground and stuff, you can pick those up, similar to when you are the lost in the mirror dimension, right? Big change. Tainted Jacob now gets more invincibility frames after being hit by Dark Esau. Again, there were times you just died instantly, right? Because of the iframes in the game. You're going to see that iframes have been fixed for Holy Mantle as well, at least increased a bit. This is good. Tainted Jacob no longer turns into the ghost form if hit while invulnerable. I always thought this was stupid. You have invincibility and then you still run into him and you still turn into Lost. Is dumb and stupid. Dark Esau is now invulnerable and no longer blocks tears and bombs, but blocks enemy projectiles instead. Dark Esau cannot die now, which means that your run can get crazy strong and you won't accidentally kill him and then turn into the Lost. This is huge. This is a very, very good change. A lot of people are a little salty about this. You have no idea how good this is. Like, absolutely no idea how good this is. And then it pairs with the next 3, right? So he now always charges towards the player instead of being locked to 8 directions. And he now attempts to keep a minimum distance from the player when not charging, and he ignores boss armor. So basically, this guy becomes less of a threat to you. He's still a threat, obviously, because if he hits you, you turn into the Lost. But you can use him so much more offensively now, and throughout the run, too. Like, him ignoring boss armor is crazy. You know, that becomes a huge offensive weapon for you. And it just, dude, this is a good change. And it makes Tainted Jacob so much more fun. Which is really good. Let's keep going. Using Anima Sola in a room with no enemies as Tainted Jacob now immediately summons Dark Esau, which is interesting. Updated the list of items that Tainted Lost cannot find, or can find, I suppose, or cannot find also. So Yuck Heart was able to be found, no longer, and Holy Water was not able to be found, now can be. Here's the controversial one. Let's have a chat. Donation machines now explode upon being bombed. Most donation progress is retained, but the machines do not reappear for the remainder of the run. Let's chat. This is the one that people are freaking out about. Is this a good change? I'm going to go with yes. However, I think it needs to be tweaked. I think what needs to be tweaked is there has to be a percentage chance where every time you bomb it, if we want to keep it, high risk, then every time you bomb it, 25% chance that it blows up, right? Or 50 if you want to get crazy. I think what it should be is 10%, and then each time you do it, another 10% is added. That means on most runs, you're going to bomb it about 4 times total. Most of the time, this will not affect you, but it still stops you from doing massive game breaks, right? The issue is that a large donation machine, you can break the game with every run if you want to. There are a lot of items that can just break the game because of the donation machine. Do I like that they do not appear for the remainder of the run? No. I think that the machine should stay, but you just can't get money from it. That way you can still donate later on the run. But, you can still utilize it. It does give you more money when you bomb it now. I think it should give you upwards of 20 cents. I've heard that it's 5 to 15 cents. I think it should give you 20, up to 20, maybe 10 to 20. That way you can actually get a good chunk of money for your run. But this is a huge change, right? It makes you wonder how useful donation machines are going to be now. They were always kind of there if you needed them on the run to get something good going. Of course, there are other buffs that have now occurred. Chests having more damage ups in them makes your run significantly better as you go. The next one, restock machines can now uncommonly appear in shops. This is apparently a 10% chance. I think that this makes shops much better, obviously, like way better. Afterbirth Plus shops were really broken. So there's a lot of things that kind of counteract this and balance it, but I will say I do think it needs to be tweaked. I like the change. I think it needs to be tweaked with just a couple of little small things to make it really, really good. But I obviously have not played a run with it yet, so I don't know for sure. Let's continue. Rocket in a Jar now aims purely based on the player's aim direction. Normal bombs are placed if the player is not attacking. This is good. I bomb myself a lot with it. Piercing Dr. Fetus bombs now inflict contact damage when passing through enemies. Interesting and good, right? Interesting and good. Dr. Fetus plus Rocket in a Jar plus Polyphemus now fires piercing rockets that can explode twice. Just feels like Kilburn said, let's make something weird. This is such an obscure synergy, but I'm happy to see it. Mom's Knife synergizes with Tech and Tech X, similar to how the Forgotten's Throne Bone is. We can take a look at this one real quick, I think. I would be happy to. So Mom's Knife and Tech X. Let's do it. And yoink. I like it. I like it. It's a fun and fancy little change. We're good with it. Fetus Shots now trigger on-hit effects only when touching enemies or obstacles. This is going to prevent a lot of the explosion hell that you can get from things like Ipecac with Fetus. The bean and most fart sources now push enemies, bombs, and pickups. Reduce the volume of farts from Jupiter. What a shame. So sad. Picking up items granted by Satanic Bible now counts as taking a devil deal. I'm going to be honest, I thought they did before. That must have just been a Mandela effect in my head. Devil deals costing 1 heart and 2 soul hearts can now be taken if the player only has 1 heart container and no soul hearts. Big change, right? Big change. This was something that people complained about. This now means that if the item gives you HP back, you can take it. That's really good. Here's the next, in my opinion, biggest change that's going to kind of blow up the meta a little bit. Devil deals can now be taken for free when under the Lost Curse, obtained by touching a white fire or using Soul of the Lost. However, this causes the other purchasable items in the room to disappear, similar to how the Lost actually works. This makes Devil Deals significantly stronger in the early game. I've always kind of said in Repentance that Angel Deals are much stronger. This is a huge buff to Devil Deals because it's a free item if you play your cards right on that floor, and it obviously makes Soul of the Lost significantly better as well. So I'm interested to see how much this changes gameplay, but I really like it. It adds another layer of decision making to the game. Glass Cannon no longer breaks on self-inflicted damage. Blood donation machines, curse rooms. Obviously a really good change. Increased invincibility frames from Holy Mantle to 1 second from half a second. You have no idea how big of a change this is. It will make your Tainted Lost runs last a hell of a lot longer. This is very, very good. IBS now behaves like a charged attack similar to Kidney Stone, but does not prevent the player from attacking when fully charged. Sure, that's good. Golden Troll Bombs now explode less often when coming in contact with the beast. Feels like a very niche scenario, but that's okay. Notched Axe now consumes a soul charge per swing as Bethany after running out of durability. That's actually interesting. I've never had this combination of items, but that's good. Now creates bridges when breaking rocks next to pits. This adds another level of min-maxing to Notched Axe. I actually think Notched Axe is a good item in Repentance now, and way, way better than it was in Rebirth/Afterbirth Plus. So yeah, that's cool to see. The 'M trinket now rerolls Notch Axe when it runs out of durability. That's pretty good. Increase the price of higher tier items in Angel Shops from 15 to 30. This is a pretty big nerf, I can't deny. Reduce the price of Little Brimstone and Little Abaddon to 1 heart. This is also good. Like, really good. they were kind of crappy, and now have been set to be a less expensive thing. Devil Rooms are now more likely to have items on sale. Once again, devs are clearly aware that Angel Deals are very strong in Repentance, trying to make Devil Deals back to being as good, if not better, right? Cap the proc rate of Ghost Pepper and Bird's Eye to 50%, but holding both of them removes the cap. These two items are extremely broken in Repentance. They needed a small nerf, and I don't care what anybody says. They were busted. They're borderline game winning to pick them up. This is a good change. Removed a redundant range increase granted by Sacred Heart and Godhead, originally needed to counteract the shot speed decrease. Don't worry about this. You're probably like, oh no, they got nerfed. They did not get nerfed. Shot speed was changed in Repentance, so just don't worry about this. Converter now has a 3-room cooldown. Basically just breaks a couple of game breaky type stuff. Look, not the end of the world. You say what you will. It's not the end of the world. Tainted Hermit card, or Flipped Hermit, now converts sacks into 7 pennies. Just a strange change, but I'm with it. Treasure rooms can now be encountered in the Seeing Double challenge. That's pretty good. Mama Mega now has a more intuitive interaction with golden bombs. Using it will consume a golden bomb if the player has one, allowing it to be used again. That is very intuitive and definitely a nice change. Suplex scales in damage and area of effect with the player's size. This is hilarious. Give me like 8 one makes you larger pills and then give me suplex. Blood Puppy will no longer try to attack the player when they are unable to move. This is a really good change because Blood Puppy definitely has times where it can just completely destroy you. The mirror can no longer be broken by tier effects such as sulfuric acid and Terra. I have done that. It made me cry. Anime Solar can now chain up to 2 targets if the player has car battery. Only 1 valid target is present. It will be chained for twice the duration. This is a really good change, dude. I didn't even know that it didn't have an interaction with car battery, so I like that a lot. Challenge trophies and giant chests now spawn with a pickup cooldown to prevent accidentally ending a run. I can't deny this feels like it's just a change for the stupid delete this challenge. But that's fine. I mean, it's good to have. Pop tiers will now start falling to the ground after bouncing off each other 8 times. This actually is more of a lag prevention thing than anything. You can get some pretty laggy runs with pop. I'm happy to see that. Lemageddon, this is a big change too. Now spawns item wisps from randomized pools instead of the pool that you're in, but there's still a 25% chance to pick the same pool as the current room. This made Lemageddon actually have a lot of weird functionality for you, and it got a little min-maxy, and I'm not sure we needed this change. I understand why they did it, because there are like some busted things like going into a secret room and then just popping Lemageddon 8 times and getting some absurdly strong items. But I kind of liked it about it. It made Tainted Bethany a really strong but also interesting character. I understand the change. And I accept the change. I just, it was fun. It was fun. Rebalance the cooldown of blank card, placebo, and clear rune. Some of them were just straight up unfair. Don't know what all of those changes are. We'll see them over time. Bombs can now be suplexed. Feels completely unnecessary. I love it. This is another big change to an item that I kind of felt was total trash and is now pretty good. So Little Baggy no longer affects pocket items that are not pills or cards. So this means that runes, souls, cracked key, things like that, no longer going to be affected by Little Baggy, which makes it, if you have like PhD, Little Baggy is now all of a sudden like a S tier item, in my opinion. Very, very good. Heartbreak can no longer kill the player on pickup. Anything that kills the player on pickup is bad. And adding to that, reviving after dying while having 100% broken hearts now removes one of those broken hearts to prevent a situation where the player would still be alive despite having no health. Another good change. That's another good change. I'm going to be honest, the only time I've ran into this was when I was playing the Mastema mod. Very, very good mod. You can check out a bunch of videos of that on the channel. But still, you can run into some weird magic skin situations and get something similar. Dark Arts now only grants its temporary damage up to Dark Judas and Tainted Judas. Dark Arts is a really strong item that I tend to just not take as any other character besides Dark Judas and Tainted Judas. I suppose Dark Judas, no, but Tainted Judas since he starts with it. So this is a good nerf, in my opinion. It was a little bit too strong for me. And now decays faster the higher it is, but no longer decays while Dark Arts is active. Also interesting. Some changes to Binge Eater. We are slowly approaching the bottom of this list, so no worry. Binge Eater now gives a minus speed per food item held. This is a really, really small speed down. Like, let's not get crazy here. It'll affect you in the long term, but like, it's also a good, item, like really broken good item. So breakfast now increases range and shot speed, and dessert increases damage and shot speed instead of speed, right? So changes there. Reduce the size of the Lost Souls hit sphere. I'll still kill it immediately upon picking it up. Sigil of Baphomet no longer triggers from the stalagmites in the beast fight. This made you like basically invincible forever in the beast fight before. Expansion pack no longer triggers metronome or the infinity. That is good. Metronome can no longer trigger clicker or R key. Look, I mean, it was fun, right? It was fun, but sure. Has a reduced chance to trigger Genesis and Death Certificate. Kind of understood, but still, metronome had some fun interactions. Fully charged Azazel's Rage now fires when clearing a challenge room or greed mode wave. Interesting. Updated Boomflies and other variants to use stage HP, resulting in them having less HP before the caves and more HP after. This is a good change, in my opinion. Rebalance the quality value of several items, probably going to mean that Rock Bottom is no longer a 2. I can't even check that without turning on external item descriptions, but I guarantee you Rock Bottom's no longer a 2. Because it was kind of a busted one, for sure. I completely lost where I was. Rebalance various wisps from Book of Virtues. Interesting. Updated Singe's boss room layouts to have less rocks. Thank the frickin' Lord. That room sucks most of the time. Champion bosses that spawn a copy of themselves now spawn with a fixed offset to prevent unavoidable damage when entering the room. Thank you. Pink Champion Cage, now smaller for consistency with other duplicating champion bosses. Hush's Sky Lasers are now affected by timescale modifiers. Very interesting. That makes Hourglass like a really good item for the Hush fight. Mama Mega can now cause the broken shovel to fall down in Basement 1. Kind of hilarious. Like, that is such a fringe case scenario, but sure, we're happy to see it. Twisted Pair now interacts correctly with Friendship Necklace. That is good. Did not know that it didn't before. Oh my god, dude, there's so many freaking changes. There's so many changes. Where we at? Monster Manual can now grant Twisted Pair as well. Could not before. Sacrificial Altar can now grant Vengeful Spirit, Hungry Soul, and Blood Puppy. All familiars. Cube Baby can be picked up and thrown using Mom's Bracelet. This is the one where I read it and I was like, come on, do we care? Like, do we care? This makes Cube Baby actually really good and kind of fun to use, and I want to do it like immediately now. This is such a weird, fun change. I'm very happy about it. So thus I guess I do care, but sure. Sci-Fly enters a brief cooldown period after reflecting a certain number of projectiles. Oh no, Sci-Fly dead, rest in peace. Edmund hates fun, nerfs every item, can't have any fun. Fun comes in, Ed has to nerf it. Oh my god. Sci-Fly is still like really good, so shut up. Like, it genuinely is still fine. I'm not gonna show you, but it still can probably just like win your run upon picking it up, so chill. Guppy's Eye displays the contents of Shopkeepers. This is good. I like this change. Guppy's Eye, in my opinion, is a very interesting item in Repentance, so I like seeing it have some new functionality. Pulsing Red Champions now only heal enemies that are on the same team as them. This prevents those rooms where you're just fighting forever in them. That's a really, really good change. Morning Stars can now sometimes spawn with an alternate facial expression. Sure. Mausoleum can now be entered for free when under the Lost Curse. This basically just makes the Soul of the Lost a better item. Better little pickup if you get it. Since it was pretty useless before, I think a lot of people can agree with that. It was basically just the equivalent of a Hangman card, but you can die. So a couple of new functionality there. Bad Trip and Health Down no longer be obtained from pills when under the Lost Curse. Just a couple of weird min-maxy buffs, right? These are things that most people are never going to know unless you watch this video or read the patch notes. But they could save you on a run. Golden Hearts now only break from taking damage, which is interesting. You used to be able to, like, Devil Deal, remove it, pop it kind of thing. That won't happen anymore. Heart Container Overflow is now tracked for the purpose of full rerolls, preventing unfair loss of heart containers when rerolling HP up items away, especially with the Keeper. That is a buff, in case you don't know what that means, so just be happy with it. 2020 no longer adds an extra shot when combined with Inner Eye or Mutant Spider. This was an interesting one to me. Instead, it cancels out the fire rate decrease that they grant. So that's actually like... It's a big buff despite people not thinking that it is. This is a good change that makes those combinations better. You're not gonna get those crazy like millions of tiers runs, but it's good. I think that's actually very good. Mega Mush grants more invincibility frames after its effect expires. Honestly, it didn't need it. The item is insanely strong as is. Spirit Shackles now grants more invincibility frames after revival. This one did need it, in my opinion. I think that's a good change. Random item effect granted by modeling clay is now seeded per room. That's an interesting change, but Probably good for things like races and such. Abaddon no longer kills the player if they have Alabaster Box. I've been there, done that, thank you. Spelunker Hat and Host Hat now block projectiles falling from above. This is a fun buff to both of these items. Host Hat obviously being very good, Spelunker Hat being a little weak. This is a fun buff. I like it. This is mainly for like the rocks that fall in some rooms, things like that. Or I suppose even some of the tears that get shot out of enemies and fall from above. Fun change. Spelunker Hat also now reveals rooms up to 2 rooms away. This is a funny one. I actually had a mod that I suggested to an Isaac modder that was this exact item. Basically an item that reveals rooms 2 rooms away. So kind of cool to see that ended up becoming a thing in Repentance. Increase the aura damage of Godhead tiers from 1.05 to 2. Basically doubling the damage of Godhead. Godhead got a pretty big nerf in Repentance. A lot of people were pissed about it. Guess what? It's strong again, like really strong again. Haemolacria and Dr. Fetus tiers now split in a more visually satisfying way. Okay. Vis no longer has a random chance to turn into double Vis, except in Utero. Boomflies no longer have a random chance to turn into red Boomflies until Cave 1. Dopals no longer have a chance to turn into evil twins. Dr. Fetus and Monstro's Lung now fire a more random-looking barrage of bombs. Super secret rooms with hearts now more consistently force specific heart types when spawning hearts using cards/items. This is something that it's always been like a strange thing that people try to force to occur, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so this is good. This is an interesting change, in my opinion. Ultra secret rooms now have a unique item pool to them instead of using the angel room pool. I don't know what all is in this pool now, but I kind of liked having them be angel deal specific, so we'll see what those new items are, and hopefully they're still strong, right? Because ultra secret rooms are super rare. Unless you have red key, right? So we'll see. Replace the miter with hallowed ground in the greed mode angel room pool. Big whoop. Updated the greed room, secret room, and curse room pools to have actual items instead of only cube of meat. Yeah, that was a slap in the face one in greed mode, so this is good. Tammy's head is back in the game. Completely unobtainable except from a crane machine in normal old base Repentance, so thank God, right? This is a good change. Pyromaniac now has normal weight/rarity. This item had, I think, a 0.2% chance to show up, meaning that basically it never did. Just imagine 0.2 out of 733 items. 0.2, so freaking low. So it's gonna finally show up in game. Glyph of Balance no longer causes soul hearts to drop when playing as the Lost. Rebalance payout chances from Sanguine Bond. Stepping on the spikes now counts as intentional self-damage, meaning no damage penalties. But this item sucked, so that's a good change. Tainted Stars no longer tries to remove your starting items. This was an issue with this card for sure, so that is good. Curse of the Tower no longer triggers on damage taken from blood donation machines and devil beggars. This makes, I'm gonna just say it out loud, alright? You can frickin' at me all you want. Curse of the Tower is an S tier item in Repentance. And I don't care what anybody says. You can hate it all you freaking want. This was my only issue with it as to why there were times I would not take it. This is now an item that basically you take damage, you wipe whatever room you're in. It is so stupid strong. It is insane. This is a crazy buff. Like, I really don't think this buff should have occurred. This item is so good now. I just don't even say a word because I know you're still going to be mad with me saying that, but it's so good now. Curse of the Lost no longer to be encountered in the Red Redemption Challenge. That's good. That's good. I don't think I ever had that happen, but that's good. Losing flight now temporarily grants the Bible effect for the current room if the lack of flight would cause the player to be stuck otherwise. That's a good change, actually. Tainted Lazarus now respawns as himself when revived by Lazarus's rags. That's a good change. And along with the rest of them, Tainted Blue Baby now respawns himself when revived by the Ankh or Broken Ankh, and Tainted Judas respawns as himself when revived by Judas's Shadow. So those are good situational don't break my unlocks respawns, which is cool. Ipecac Haemolacria and Monstro's Lung Tears now have a less extreme arc when fired in a crawl space or in the beast fight. This made all 3 of these items close to impossible to use if going to beast. So that is very good. And then finally, Dad's Note can no longer be re-rolled by 4-pip dice rooms and spin down dice. So those are all of the balance changes. I want you to keep in mind that there are this many fixes still. These are all bug fixes. And I do want to just note like 2 of them, and it's the top 2. These were kind of the most important ones for me. I will have a link to the patch notes so you guys can read them as well. Crawl space is always leading to an error room. Yeah, it was bad. Like, it was bad. I'm very happy that this is fixed. And TM Trainer not replacing important progression items. This made, if you ever picked it up on a run, this was just horrible. This was just horrible. So thank God, right? Those 2 needed to be changed. Bunch of other interesting ones. Obviously, Soul Locket not granting stat ups when picking up Soul Hearts is a loss. I thought that was just a decision that they made. Now you can see that is a bug. Bunch of other things. I'll let you guys look through them. Only other thing I'm going to mention, there are a couple of modding changes as well. So these are changes to, a flash sale on Saks Fifth Avenue. Oh, baby. Bunch of changes to the modding API. Unfortunately, you visited an illegal infected website. Fantastic. Okay, you can stop with that, sir. You can stop with that. We'll just go back to Isaac. Apparently, McAfee hates Pastebin for some reason. But anyway, bunch of modding changes. Unfortunately, the rooms being crashing, new rooms crashing the game has not been fixed. So hopefully there's another patch coming soon that's going to fix that bug that's preventing a lot of mods from working in Repentance the way that they are intended to work. But otherwise, I mean, hey, that's a lot of really, really good updates to Repentance. We're going to check out some of the new Tainted characters as time goes on, so we can actually play them the way that the game is meant to be played with them, since some of them were very broken. And we'll obviously see a lot of these new changes in my Unstable Modded Eden streak that you can find on my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to give your opinions on these changes in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.